Our movie begins with Miguel, a professional writer who writes at his favorite restaurant. He's soon joined by the lovely young Angela, who observes that her beauty seems out of place in such a commonplace atmosphere. She's come to have Miguel look at an article she wrote about him during a prior interview, a makeup assignment she completed after failing her journalism class due to a lack of attendance. Miguel informs her at a look that her writing is too long-winded, but invites her to sit closer while he thoroughly analyzes it. While criticizing Angela for mimicking his approach and employing too many cliches, Miguel believes she has talent and requests that he save her article. He then asks whether she has any plans and tells her to check his coat pockets for a pair of keys to his friend Louis' studio. He admits that he is drawn to Angela for reasons other than her writing. Miguel tells Angela he'd like to be alone with her after being interrupted for an autograph. He instructs her to take the keys and stand by the door while he negotiates with the waiter. While he is being truthful about his goals, neither he nor Angela are aware of what is about to happen. When they get to Louis' workshop, Miguel discusses the benefits of painting versus writing while handing her a whiskey tumbler. He mocks writers for attempting to describe the ineffable, citing her face as an example of the beauty that is beyond description. He takes her glasses off and kisses her. He then reveals that he regards kissing as a normal formality and demonstrates his true intentions by guiding her to the bed and requesting her to remove her clothes. She refuses, but he tells her that she's stripped his coverings away by requesting an interview, and he wants something in return. Angela wants to explain that she is only interested in Miguel because of his writing, but he tells her flatly that he doesn't care about skill and prefers to appreciate something more substantial. When she declines again, he expresses hope that one day she may look back on this with forgiveness and possibly even gratitude for his bravery. As she walks away, he sits and smokes alone. However, he soon glances up to see her return wearing nothing but an unbuttoned shirt. He motions for her to join him, moving his hand from her hair to her knees before putting his finger in a smear of paint. He draws 2 lines on her chest and she reluctantly begins to leave so she can wash them off, but he pulls her shirt off and paints another line down her back. She turns and tells him he's nuts, but she hasn't even begun to delve into this man's tortured mind. Miguel enters the shower to watch Angela as she draws the shower curtain, perhaps assuming that a see-through shower curtain would provide her with some privacy. Miguel takes off his clothes before entering and closing the door behind him. Angela shuts off the water and begins to walk out, amused that Miguel is still flaccid. As Miguel showers, he hands Angela a towel and they trade positions. Angela decides to leave once more. The door, however, is stuck and will not open. Miguel tries the door himself, but even their combined might isn't effective. They realize they're tied together after he fails to jimmy the door with a paintbrush. Angela tries to summon assistance through a small window, but no one responds. Miguel then warns her that Louis would not return for 2 days and that his wife will most likely wait at least a day before calling the police. Angela's parents will be concerned sooner or later, but they have no idea where she is. Miguel tries to summon assistance himself but receives no response. With nothing else to do, Miguel inquires about Angela's family, discovering that he met her sister, Isabel, when he published a story about her playing truthfully. He recalls wanting to sleep with Isabel but never having the opportunity, and he is concerned that he will not be able to sleep with Angela. But her expression makes us wonder if she's more open to it than he thinks. Miguel tells Angela about Suzo, a political commentator who, when he didn't return home after a one-night stand, slept with anything that moved. His wife informed the media that he had been kidnapped solely to raise feathers. Miguel then goes on about Angela's sister, ranting about his desire to sleep with her. Angela tells Miguel, possibly a little cruelly, that her sister thought his writing was overrated. When Miguel asks Angela if she intends to inform anyone about being stuck with him, she simply asks him the same thing again. He touches her knee and says it depends on how things turn out. Angela rightly distances herself from him but expresses her respect for his writing. Miguel, on the other hand, believes that meeting someone you admire is the first step toward losing your admiration for them. Angela stands on the toilet, ready to call out the window once more. Miguel admires her physique. He approaches to rub his hands on her, but she pushes him away and states that all she wants is to get out. Miguel wonders what Angela ever wanted from him in the first place, given that he made his intentions obvious from the outset, and he implies that she was. When she questions why sleeping with her is so essential to him, she's just using him to advance her career. He makes fun of her by stating he'd gladly swap her body for a cigarette and a drink of whiskey. He then settles into the tub to read, as Angela sobs on the floor. This conversation will come back to harm him later. Miguel wakes up to find Angela staring out the window. He wonders what she'd do on a sad evening if she wasn't stuck with him. Angela, on the other hand, claims that she dislikes going out. Miguel believes she stays in because it makes her feel more special than others. Miguel theorizes after a conversation about literature that all young people assume they will one day fly away from their situations. He then says that he envies their optimism and that all he wanted to do was sleep with Angela in order to fly on the wings of youth. Miguel then motions for Angela to move so he can use the restroom. Observing that writers constantly extol love and sexiness but seldom urine, he advises Angela to always write the ordinary facts rather than romanticizing the abstract. Miguel's aggravation grows as he tries to call out the window again, and he laments being confined with a gorgeous female he can't sleep with. He examines himself in the mirror, criticizing his bald head and nose hairs. Believe it or not, this is what will move him closer to his goal, but for the time being, he employs a fresh strategy, telling Angela that the human body is nothing exceptional and comparing human love to dogs running around the street. He informs her that their departure will create a scandal in any case, and that his wife may even leave him. He then kisses her again before repeating that whether they slept together or not, people will assume they did, but it's only after playing the compassion card again about his senior age that he ultimately persuades her. Angela turns off the lamp and walks over to Miguel, stroking his shoulders as her towel falls to the floor. She sits on his lap and they make love on the side of the tub before lying together. Angela's stomach grumbles, leading Miguel to recall how he rarely ate as a child. Angela, on the other hand, grew up overweight. Miguel then discusses how he has always enjoyed watching people eat and watching movies, believing that art can only thrive when it represents life's most basic facts. He compares writers to surgeons who must operate without becoming attached. Angela responds that writers could change the world if they cared more about it, but he attributes her optimism to her youth. Angela eventually tires of Miguel's persistent resentment and chastises him for always talking down to her. She claims that the elder generation has nothing to offer its students other than cynicism and phony intellectualism. She also advises Miguel to quit harping on his age as if it makes their relationship more meaningful, and that if they weren't locked in, he would have left as soon as he had what he wanted. Despite her rebukes, we will hear about Miguel's age again, regardless. He apologizes and asks Angela if she would want to be the one to speak for a bit, but she's at a loss for words. He encourages her to try the window again, but no one responds. Looking in the mirror, she remembers interviewing herself as a child and pretending to be a famous writer. She inquires about the nature of happiness, and Miguel, unexpectedly, reveals that he does not have an answer for everything. Angela then tells him about a classmate who flung herself out a window, and Miguel informs her that everyone is looking for a way out. They simply do not all pursue it in such lasting ways. When Angela informs him that their captivity is affecting her, he devises a plan to keep them entertained. Miguel leans against a wall and narrates a fictitious film about a father who can't get his depressed son out of bed despite denying him food and prescribing him medication. Both are ineffective. He and his wife pack the boy and his bedding into their vehicle and drive him away. They eventually arrive in France, where Angela inserts a scene in which the family is eating the stew. As the story progresses, Miguel naturally enjoys this. The father and mother had a sexual encounter in the woods before returning to find the boy missing. Angela then interrupts and exits the tub to use the restroom. She notices the rising sun. She goes back to the tub, and Miguel resumes the narrative. When the parents are unable to locate their child, the father attempts to persuade the mother that he has at least gotten out of bed, but the mother would rather the boy be sick if it meant he could stay with her. When Miguel hears the noises of trash being collected outside, he rushes to the window and yells out to the guy below, requesting him to phone Louis as time passes. Miguel is concerned about whether the worker truly made the call. Angela reminds out that Miguel never finished the movie, but he promises to watch it again later if she doesn't forget about him one more time. He regrets his age, hoping that Angela's generation will take better care of the environment than his own. He advises her that life is frequently the ideal setting for sabotaging a goal. Soon after, the doorknob rattles and Louis enters to let them out. Angela rushes to get dressed while Miguel and Louis look on. Miguel tries to say goodbye, but Angela walks away without saying anything, leaving Miguel wondering what to tell his wife about his sudden disappearance. Louis notices that Angela has forgotten her glasses, and Miguel is offered them by him, but Miguel is unsure if he will ever see Angela again. He urges Louis to keep them safe in case she comes looking for them. Louis then notes that the glasses had a high prescription, which worked in Miguel's favor. Finally, as Miguel nostalgically reads through a scrapbook of old articles, we see Angela walking home, her sad expression concealing her affections for Miguel. This is how the movie ends. See the next video. We hope that you enjoy your time and have a good day.